Welcome to our iPad workshop. Thank you for coming. Here's my agenda today. Kind of short-lived agenda. We'll first look at mirroring the iPad and making it so that you can see what's on the iPad, or so that your students can see what's on the iPad. We'll talk a little bit about iPads next year. I'll be passing out some paperwork that would be of interest to you, so that it's what the students are going to receive here very soon. We'll talk quite a bit about assessment and just learning what your students know as you go through your different courses. And you'll get a chance to kind of share with each other a little bit about your plans with the iPads in the classroom. And then finally, depending on the time, we'll kind of end with the video piece with kind of EdTPA in mind. And currently we are trying out swivl in the back there, which may be a tool that we can use for EdTPA. If you notice, I'm wearing a microphone, and the iPad is tracking me as I go this way. The swivel will follow me, and so we're hoping that this is something that our PE teachers or music teachers can use in a sound-sensitive environment. And Mr. Knowles, go move your clip. So the first thing I want to get into is kind of the essential piece of having an iPad or wanting to share something with your students. This may not be as effective as what we can do, and there's a number of different ways that we can show our iPad to our students. And unfortunately, this room is not yet outfitted for a few of the options. The first one that you may have heard of is called Apple TV. And Apple TV, what it does is it's a little unit that will mirror your device or show what's on your device on your screen. That's the option that the music department went through, and we may be looking into doing Apple TV so that you can mirror your device. Another one that's of interest right now because of it's cheaper is called Air Server. And Air Server is an app essentially that mirrors your device to the projector. And then finally, the one that will always work is when you hardwire it in. And that's what I just did. I just plugged in. In order to do this, you have to have a cute little adapter that'll adapt the VGA cord into the lightning port. And these are really expensive. Well, for what they look like, it looks like it would be small and cheap, but it's $50. And so right now it's into VGA because our rooms are not yet outfitted with HDMI, but there's also an HDMI to Lightning converter, and so we'll see what direction we're going to go. This little piece that's connected to the VGA is the audio, and so if you're showing movies or if you're showing something with sound, the audio piece goes into the little headphone jack, and I'm just doing that just to get it out of the way because I don't have any cool videos for us today, and that sort of thing. So that's mirroring the iPad so that you can see what's on my iPad, and as we go along, I'll be trying to show you different things with the iPad today. All right, the first thing we're going to look at is, in mirroring the iPad, is in creating presentations. Now, I know many of you have your presentations already put on PowerPoint, and you can get a PowerPoint app as well for your iPad. You can bring your PowerPoints in and show your PowerPoints through the iPad, and that is just as useful. Apple products, Keynote is the Apple product that does presentations. I wanted to learn a new tool. And so for today's presentation, I used a tool called Haiku Deck. I don't know if I would recommend it yet because I'm still playing with it and figuring it out, but it's just one way that you can always learn new tools. So the first thing that I want to get to is iPads next year. We are definitely moving forward, having our students next year purchase their iPads, and a letter to the students is been drafted, and we're beginning sending it probably this week, as it's run through the administration, it's run through IT, and we're ready. And then for the students who do not have, who are able to opt out of the iPad initiative, there are seniors. We are going to have a checkout system, and so we've put together a checkout policy for them. Now, I would have this letter in my hand, or the checkout policy in my hand, to hand to you, but that would be anti-iPad, right? And because today is an iPad training, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to get these documents to you. The first thing I'm going to have you to do is I need you to turn on your AirDrop. I'm going to show you what that looks like. From the bottom of my screen, not Siri. From the bottom of my screen, if I just push up, there's like a little secret window under there that you can push up that looks very similar to what you see here. So try to find that little secret compartment area.
Mine is definitely secret.
Yeah, well. So when you get to this area, at the very bottom middle, there's a little component that's called AirDrop. And if you just touch it, it'll say off, contacts only, or everyone. If you could choose everyone, please, this is going to make this component possible.
Okay, what you say? Click what? AirDrop and everyone. Yeah, you have to pull your thingy off.
So I'm in Notability now, and you don't need to go to Notability. For Notability is the app program that we're going to ask our students to have for note taking. It also has multiple other options that are nice, and the one that I'm going to use right now is AirDrop. And what it'll allow me to do is drop this note on everyone's iPad, similar to passing out papers.
Everyone, like
Everyone in this room.
how far away? Like, so we're in the other room?
It doesn't have that long of distance.
That's what I wondered. How many people does it send it? Is it through a Bluetooth setting?
Yes, it is through Bluetooth, and by turning on your AirDrop is what. So I've sent it to Mary Beth's, Darcel's, Diane's, one of the checkout ones, Nancy's, Barb's, Exercise Sports. So 3 have been sent so far. So it has taken some time it will take some time to deliver to everybody's.
And then I just push accept, right?
Yep, just press accept when it comes to you. And the letter that I've just sent to you is the letter that we're going to be sending to all of our students for our iPads.
Okay, do you want us to open it with
Yeah.
Notability?
You can open up with whatever you want. This is the difficulty with so many different iPads, with so many different apps, that right now we are not uniform. So one of the challenges that we're going to have, and it's going to be an easy fix, is making sure that the applications that our students have are uniform so that we can support them. And so if we have all of our students on Notability, then we'll just say, yeah, open in Notability, and everyone will be seeing the same thing. So this is just one tool that you can have. As far as AirDrop is concerned, you can reward your students for coming to class by giving them a study guide. Or if you're meeting with a student one-on-one and you need to get them a document, then you can just AirDrop it to them real quick. It's essentially kind of like email. It's a little fancier, I guess, than email. All right, well.
Okay, he's got to add you.
Now you have it? There you go.
You are not the presenter. You must be the presenter.
Yeah, I'm not sure on what setting it is.
I have mine keeps hot and all the stuff.
It's updating software, so I have to wait.
That's really weird. I don't know what to tell you.
Mine's updating software.
Okay.
Sent it to everyone yet?
I've sent it to everyone who was in initially.
Okay, so Sarah has gotten one or not? She didn't get the little message.
Well, she probably, I don't know if she has, oh, she has Adobe Reader, so she could read it. What is the name of your iPad? Do you know? So it's obvious that we still have some kinks to work out through this, but and not to take time to try to iron out all of the different kinks today. But it will be an option that you'll have when working with your students. Yes. Yes. Yeah. This is just an example of how to get you these documents. You will get these letters and you will get these different things from us in time when they all go out. All right.
Sarah's iPad, possibly S-Band.
All right. Well,
Possibly S-Band.
I could try one more time to send it to Sarah's iPad.
Do you have to be on for the, when you send out the image? Because I'm not getting it, because I'm on Android.
Just turn it on.
So is your Bluetooth is on and your okay. My yeah, okay, here you go, Aggie. I'm sending it to you right now. Sarah, I'm sending it to you right now. So most likely when I started sending it originally, everyone else you guys were still waiting to get onto your computers. Anyone else who still needs this document? Okay. Well, we might not get to it today. All right. Okay, we're gonna move on from here. The next piece we're going to look at is kind of assessment with your students and using, and I sent out an email on this to all the faculty on assessing your students through the use of Socrative. And Socrative is a really good tool to use with your students. And so right now we're going to move. I asked everyone originally before they came through email to have the Socrative app. If not, if you don't have the Socrative student app, I still have 3 iPads available that have it on it that we can let you play with it. But if you go ahead and you can click into Socrative, the Socrative student, and I'm going to go in through what's called the Socrative teacher portion where you create the assessments.
But we're going to students.
And it'll ask you, the first thing it'll ask you for is for a room number. And the room number that you'll click in is ONU. So here's our room number. ONU, so far we have 2 students in the room. So you're seeing up on the screen, you're seeing my iPad, which will be different from what you see on your screen for your iPad. And first, initially, you can do a number of different things. The first thing I'm going to show is impromptu polling. So if I just want to get a feeling from the students, if I want to hear what they've got to say about something, maybe take a vote of different things, I can just impromptu. So for instance, I'll make a true or false question. True or false, you're on Socrative right now. And a question is being sent to your iPad right now, and you can either mark true or you can mark false. While you're doing this, all the responses of the 15 people here are going to start showing up on our screen here. And so the impromptu polling is nice for different things. Now this is a true-false question. I could do the same thing with a multiple choice question.
Is the question already?
Yes, so you can mark true or false.
What is the question?
The question is impromptu, so I just made it out loud. And so the question was, I'm on Socrative right now, true or false? Yeah. Yeah, you are. So you have true false questions. You have multiple choice questions. At the end of the day, you can have an exit question. And we've got 16 of the 18 people have chimed in, and now we've got a reading for the students. And so this could be a do you understand or not understand. I'm going to end this activity. And then the other piece that you have is you have the ability to quiz or test your students, which is a really nice feature because it grades them electronically. Or you can quiz and test them to kind of get an idea of what's going on in the class. I'm going to choose a quiz that I've made for this workshop, and I have two options. I can make it a student-paced quiz, which would be similar to, hey, heads down, eyes closed, or eyes on your own paper. You're taking this quiz. This quiz is for points, student-paced. Or I could just make it a teacher-paced, which what I'll do, and it'll guide us through our discussion, or it'll guide us through our learning time, our learning segment. And so the first question I have for you is writing your name. Now you can write your actual name, or for this exercise you can write an alias that if you don't want anyone to know who's sending you these answers in. And I'm sure we can have some fun with that. So go ahead and write your name in, and this will be our very first question. All right, and we have 14 of the 20 people who have answered the first question. And I have the power through this to move on or to wait until everyone has responded, depending on the speed of the class. Someone is Lance Kilpatrick. That's nice. That's good. That's right. I'm going to get these answers wrong. If I'm asking the students information that only I want to see, and I don't want the students to see it, I'll just hide these results, and now you guys can't see them. Or I could just disconnect and you can't see them. But depending on the type of activity that you want, your students may be more inclined to answer something if they know that all the students aren't going to read it, even though it may be anonymous. So I'll turn the live results back on because that's fun. 19 to 20 you are in, so I'm going to move on to the next question. And this question is a multiple choice question, and we can see the results as they come in. It's nice when you have a pre-made quiz because it'll kind of guide you along, probably much similar to what you would do in a discussion with your students through PowerPoint, and you might work on it. And we could still discuss this. So we've got a good variety here. And now I'll send you the next question. The next question is more open-ended so that you can give your responses how you think. And this is more valuable for us as teachers. Instead of just doing multiple choice all the time, getting honest feedback where students actually have to type a response can be valuable. So you guys can send those in. We'll see what comes up. You can be honest and truthful, or you can just do something silly, and we'll see it up on the board here.
Dale, it's good to have you as a friend.
Lance, do you have a Socrative teacher? Is that's
Yep. Good question. She said, do I have Socrative teacher? And yes, I do. I asked you guys to get the Socrative student app. The Socrative teacher is also free, and it allows you to create the quizzes and then launch the quizzes You can create your own room, and you can always have that same room number, the same room. Yeah.
On your room number, can you change the original room number you're assigned?
Yes, you can customize your room number so that it's something that you use all the time. So I've just used ONU and kind of have that locked in.
I remember that ridiculously long number.
Right, right, and it's easy when you tell your students, hey, just make it short, make it simple.
Like we can use our class title like Ed 150.
Right. All right. So this would be the last question, so that you can get used to what it's like to be a student behind the seat of an iPad and offering the information of the class, of whatever material that you have in your coursework. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this activity now. So I think we've all kind of have a good idea of what Socrative can do, and I'm going to show you here. It's offering an option to email me a report. It'll be sent to your email. It's nice because it'll give each student's name if it was correct. So this is where you want to make sure your students write in the correct name, and it'll show you a printout of how many answers they got right or wrong, and which questions that they got wrong, so you can identify, do a little analysis of how your students are doing on a particular piece. I'm going to quickly show you what it looks like to create a quiz. It's very, very simple, very easy. You can come down to where it says Manage Quizzes, and create, edit, and put together quizzes. No, you don't have this side. This is the teacher's component. I'm just wanting to show you real quick the ease of it. Creating a quiz, and there's two options that I have. I can create a multiple choice question or a short answer question. I'll choose multiple choice. I can write in the question and then write in my answers and continue on from there. And indicate which one's right. If you're just doing a poll type question like we were, where there wasn't really a right or wrong, you won't have to mark which one is right or which one is wrong. And making quizzes is very easy. And then selecting a quiz. Once you've created the quiz, I'll go back to our menu here. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, so you've got to get some info.
Yeah, I can see Kelly and Tom. You can see classroom management.
I still didn't get my airdrop.
You didn't?
No, it took me to join something.
It doesn't want to let me out of here. All right.
It's rubbing off. I chose correctly where
Okay. Now, other types of assessment as we move away from Socrative, and we move maybe easier or better types of assessment depending on your class style. We may have all been in a classroom that utilizes whiteboards, and this is, I guess, the old iPad system where you would ask a question, or you have students work out a question on the whiteboard and they show it in class. And we can do the same thing with these. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to have you do this, but I'll show you kind of what that might look like. So here I've got a couple of different slides here. I've got a yes, I've got a no, I've got a question mark, or just a regular whiteboard space where if I'm asking the students, hey, who designed or wrote about the zone of proximal development, and I'm going to ask the students, go ahead and give me his name, they can just, write Vygotsky, and I was like, all right, show me your iPads, and I can scan and see whose students are catching it, who are not. If I'm asking different questions, if I might get some yeses, I might get some no's, might get some question marks, and it's just a kind of the old style of thumbs up, thumbs down, yes, no, shake your head. It's just another form or style of assessment, formative assessment for our students through that. This is just a whiteboard.
Oh, this is just
This is just a whiteboard that allows you to put pictures on it and different things. This is EduCreations is what this one is, but there's multiple different whiteboards that you can use in your, and many of them will do a lot of the same options. We're just looking at ways to utilize assessment in our classroom with the use of the iPad. Another fun one, and we're going to try to have some fun with this one, is through a browser. And so this is through Safari. And so this one is called Kahoot. I don't know if many of you are familiar with Kahoot. It's very similar to Socrative, except now it gives you a score, and it's a timed quiz or test. And so, it's changed the game pin on me. But if you go to, in your browser, click on kahoot.it. And that's all you need to type into your URL address window is kahoot.it. And since I began, it has changed my PIN number, so don't pay attention to this one, but pay attention to the one on the screen, 59481. It's going to, again, ask for your name, so again, another alias would be appropriate. Thank you, AJ. So we got 5 players in: Nancy, Lake Girl, me, AJ.
So where it says game pin, you said?
Game pin, you're going to enter in 59481. Right here, join at kahoot.it, and here's your game pin. So this and Socrative both, as long as your students have a device, they can do both of these things. They are not proprietary to just Apple products. This one is run through a browser, and Socrative can also be run through a browser, but it's also ran through an app. The app makes it a little bit easier than running through the browser. So right now we've got 15 players, and so I'm going to go ahead and start our game. Good question. I'm not really sure.
It says I did. Did you see your name appear at the front? But it does not give me a dialog box. So it's not really asking me.
I haven't started anything yet, but if you don't see your name, that's... I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start it. And again, this is a timed quiz, so the faster you are, the more points you get. Okay, so what generation of iPad are the students required to purchase? Second generation or older, third generation or older, fourth generation or older, or they can purchase any iPad. So you have to align the colors with the ones that are on yours. All right. So we got a good variety of information here. We'll see who's winning. Lake Girl, you're in front. All right, good work. We're moving on to the next question. Who can opt out from purchasing an iPad?
But currently, they're not graduating seniors, they're current juniors.
All right. So we'll see who's in. Oh, Lake Girl's still in the lead.
Wow.
That's because I think it's, I know his name.
Hey, all right. So that was just 3 questions. And the students really get into the fact that after every question, there's a score. And students love to see their name up on the top. They'll try different things to try to be the fastest, because the faster you chime in, the more points you get. But if you get an incorrect question wrong, then you lose a lot of points there. And so it's a very fun way to quiz your students, preparing for a test, reviewing that sort of thing. And even college students love something as silly as this, and it can be very educational as far as quizzing. And I have a good time playing Kahoot, and sure they will as well.
When we do this, will they give us a number every time, a different number every time?
When you create a quiz, yeah, that quiz, they'll give you a game pin right before you begin. So my game pin changed from when I loaded it this morning to when we actually took the quiz. They gave me a different pin number.
So these need to be loaded before we start class?
Yes. The quiz, you need to make the quiz before class, yes.
So where is it stored?
It's stored on Kahoot. You have a login in Kahoot where you create the quizzes, and then that's where you launch the quiz from.
Can you show us how you stored your questions?
I can, but I'm not going to today, because this is just kind of showing you what's available for you to use with your classroom. And if you're interested, we can go down this path later on of how to do some of these things. Question?
Just their scores go somewhere,
Yes.
so if they even log out, you still have them.
Right. Yeah. Very similar to Socrative, you can still get that. But if you're having your students use aliases, then that's the problem with that. Okay. The next piece that I wanted to look into and show you is we're kind of moving towards video a little bit, and some options that come with video. One of my hopes as we move towards the EdTPA is that we as professors can utilize the video option in our classes more, just so that our students can experience using, sending, editing, compressing, all of the different pieces of video prior to. And there's also some functions of video that we can utilize as professors. The first one I'm going to show you is I'm just going to turn my camera on here, and you'll notice this little stand that I've got here is a stand that you can use as a document camera. It's also a tripod for our students who may want to use it for the EdTPA if they want to film themselves. And I got a lot of wires going here, so get these out of the way. But as you're recording, one of the beautiful things is this normally what you would do is you would be up here at the board, back to your students, writing out a math problem and talking to them. And that is still a great way to teach our students. The reason why you might do it this way is because as I'm writing out my problem and as I'm talking to my students, I can press record, and now my video is being captured, and it's capturing my voice, and it's capturing me, work out the problem, and now I can stop it when I'm done, ready, and now I've got a video of my lesson. Thinking about the flipped classroom, thinking about screencasting, and those sort of options, depending if you have something that is that you can show your students. It also makes a great video camera if you're trying to show your students. I'm thinking in science where you're doing an experiment or something and you want everyone to see what's going on your station and they're all watching. Sometimes that can be difficult. But if you use the camera function to show students what's going on, then that can be helpful for them to see different things. And you don't need a fancy stand to do a document camera. If you get a stack of books and you hold it about a foot off of the ground, my finger's over the camera, and you hold it about a foot off of where your desk is, you don't need a fancy stand in order to do this. A stack of books with a book on top will be just fine for a document camera and allow you to video yourself talking and working through different problems. The next piece that I want to look at, as we kind of move on, I'm going to kind of switch to video. And the nice thing is I've been filming our lesson, our session the entire time, and it's been picking me up. And so before we move into video and before I set up using the other iPad, come back here to my presentation. I've got a question that you guys are just going to kind of pair share while it takes some time. And the question is, how does your neighbor plan on using iPads in their classroom? This is just a time where you can kind of share together for a second some things that you've been thinking about, what you like, what you don't like, so that we can progress here through our session. So go ahead and talk to your neighbor about their plans with the iPad in their classroom.